Give it a little crack. Yeah, look at that. Today, I'm going to show you how to make creme brulee. To begin, I have 1 cup of whole milk and I have 1 cup of heavy cream, a pinch of salt or 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. I have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Here we are over on the stovetop and I have the burner set to medium low and we want to gently warm up this milk and cream. All right, and then right when we get to this point where it's a little starting to bubble a little bit on top, and you see these little tiny bubbles on the edges, it's right around 200 Fahrenheit or around 93 Celsius. Turn off the heat, and then I'm going to let it cool for 10 to 15 minutes. We want it to cool down to lukewarm temperature. And I have 4 egg yolks in here. I need another one, and I want to separate the egg yolk from the egg white, and I'll just show you how I do that. It's a very common method. Just give it a crack and open it up, and then we're going to just go back and forth between the eggshells. Just do that a couple of times until you have just the yolk. And then I'll put the yolk over there. And I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of white granulated sugar. Gently mix this in together. Just for about a minute or so. See how it's starting to get more pale yellow? That's exactly what we want. And so you're just gonna pour just a little bit. And we're gonna mix that in. And we're going to, it's kind of tempering the temperature of that egg yolk mixture. Pour a little more in there. Okay, and then at this point, we can just pour the rest of it in there. So we'll just give this a nice little stir. All right, and now what I want to do is I want to pour this mixture into something that has like a spout. It'll just make it easier to pour it into the ramekins. I have a couple different sizes. I have a 6-ounce ramekin and a 4-ounce ramekin, and you could use either one. So I'm just going to use 4 6-ounce ramekins and then 1 4-ounce ramekin. I'm going to take my strainer once again and just pour some in right up about to that line. We got our little ramekins filled, and then I have a 13 by 9 inch pan here, and I'm going to fill it about 1 inch high with really hot water. And now I'm going to place my ramekins in there. And now we're going to bake this in the oven, 210 degrees Fahrenheit or right around 98 Celsius. And we're going to bake it for about 60 minutes. All right, it's been 60 minutes. We take a look. Let's wiggle the pan. See how it's still pretty wobbly. So I'm going to turn up the heat to 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 148, 149 Celsius. And we're going to go another 10 to 15 minutes and that should do the trick. All right, we'll check these again. See that? There's just a slight wobble right there in the middle. That's exactly what we want. I'm going to take these out. This will end up being about 20 minutes. I'm going to take them out of the water bath and just let them cool right here on top of my oven for about 30 to 45 minutes, just until they're nice room temperature. And then into the refrigerator they go for at least 2 hours. These need to be really cold. All right, time for the fun part. I have a little bit of sugar here, and I'm going to take about a teaspoon worth of sugar, and I'm just going to kind of tap it with my finger, the spoon, and just kind of spread it around evenly on the top. You don't want it to be too thick, but I just tap it around like that and get a nice little thin coating there. And once you have the sugar on there, we need to melt it. A couple ways you can do it. The most popular and the best method is with a kitchen torch. These are really cheap. I got mine on Amazon for like 15, 16 bucks. Or you can try to do it underneath the broiler. That just doesn't work that well. So definitely a kitchen torch is the way to go. Don't want to do it too much in one little area. Kind of just move it around in little circles, just with that tip of that flame hitting that sugar. You got to be very careful. This is really hot. So just kind of go in circles. You don't have to spend too much time in one little area because it'll continue to melt after you do this. Okay, just like that. Awesome. And it's going to be a nice amber color when it's done. And then just let it sit and cool for a couple minutes and then we'll crack into it. Okay, it's been a couple minutes. I'm going to give it a tap on top. Hear that? Yeah. And just kind of give it a little crack. Yeah, look at that. And look at that nice cream, custard. Oh, so good. So amazing. There you go. That is how you make an easy creme brulee. Take care. Time for me to dive into this some more. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So good. Mmm.